aus England, aus Ipswich. Hat einen guten Auftritt bei den UK Open gehabt. 4 Runden gewinnen können, war am Samstag noch mit von der Partie. Und er würde auch so gerne hier in München Tag Nummer 2 auf jeden Fall erreichen. Er ist ein gelernter Friseur, von daher trägt er den Spitznamen The Barber, Ryan Meikle. 26 Jahre alt ist der Gegner von Ryan Meikle. Er ist nicht verwandt oder verschwägert mit einem gewissen S.Taylor. Er ist die 88 der Welt. Herzlich willkommen, S.Taylor.
Welcome back to the action here at the German Darts Grand Prix here in Munich. And Elmar Polka, our MC, has just announced S.Taylor as not S.Taylor. He takes on Ryan Meikle, a man who is one of 3 players in action this afternoon, has had a lot of trouble getting here due to the problems at Stansted Airport yesterday. This match was meant to be the opener of this second European Tour event of 2018, but this, along with the following matches, the last couple of games from this afternoon session, Steve West versus Paul Rowley and Darren Webster against Jan Decker, have been rearranged and put back to allow for those delays, but gladly all the players that were caught up in that trouble have managed to make it to Munich. So Ryan Meikle, the barber from Ipswich, looking to give S.Taylor the chop.
Yeah, well, he and Steve West both flew in from Heathrow, I'm told at great expense, just to get here. So no pressure, Ryan. Extra grand if you make it through this opening game.
First leg is Scott to throw first. Game on.
S.Taylor in his first Euro Tour action since the back end of 2016, when he played at the German Darts Championship. Did win his opening round there before he lost to the eventual champion Alan Norris.
180.
Welcome back. Both of these players took a couple of scalps really in their
190
qualifying campaigns for this tournament. Meikle saw Terry the Bull Jenkins and Mark Webster before beating Michael Barnard in his decisive match 6-5.
Yeah, and beating Michael Barnard at the minute isn't bad going, because he was tearing up the Challenge Tour last weekend. He was throwing 110 averages, 104 averages. He was superb.
82.
And S.Taylor, his first win was against Matt Padgett 6-1, and after that he defeated Justin Pipe and Ryan Searle.
Scott, you require 120.
A Shanghai shot then. He started with a maximum in this leg. Can he finish with 120? No is the answer, but he doesn't need to do it in this visit.
Probably needs another treble to apply the pressure.
140.
Pressure applied.
You require 60.
Well, about 2/3 of the bed.
40.
And the dart did get in the way
95.
of the first double attempt, and now Meikle has got a choice here. Bull route it is. So a single 20 would give him a shot in the middle, that's even better.
85.
I'm not even sure if it was better, you know. I know the double five is a bigger target, but that first dart in the 25 looked very, very good.
On the first leg.
But it matters not, because S.Taylor gets the first leg on the board in this one.
Game on.
Well, Taylor had a maximum in his first throw in the previous leg. Now Meikle responds in kind.
Winner of this faces Daryl Gurney, the number 5 seed here this weekend, a man who's gone back-to-back wins in the Premier League, beat Rob Cross on Thursday night. Although, strangely, Super Chin was well below his usual standards last weekend on the European Tour.
41.
Ended up going out to Ron Meulenkamp.
Yeah, he may well still be in the euphoria of that Thursday night
85.
Premier League in Belfast. A real special moment, wasn't it? Right from the walk on to the end of the match between Darrell and Rob Cross.
Yeah, he hit 9 180s in that game.
93.
Super Chin showing us what, look, we've seen many times before on the European Tour, particularly. He's one of the biggest 180 hitters in the game.
Yeah, certainly a tough assignment for whoever does come through this one.
57.
And it's one of those games that it's tough to call, isn't it, between this pair? Not really too much
85.
recent
Ryan Uruguay was
success. Of course, it's all relative. Both players who would imagine that their best days are ahead of them.
They have played each other very, very recently, in fact, just a matter of days ago in Milton Keynes. S.Taylor was a convincing 6-2 winner in the first round of that Pro Tour event there.
85.
The other times they've met have been in qualifiers for these Euro Tours, and it's 1 win apiece.
It's one of those, you kind of think it's a good draw. Both players would look at it that way.
Game shot on the second leg. Ryan
That's a good finish. Ryan Meikle, because he did have
Game
about half the bed to aim at, and he found a way. I think it's an interesting point that's been made, mainly by Wayne Mardle, that players are going to, at some point, stop going for finishes where they need to hit the single 20 and the double top, where they've got 60 left with 2 darts.
77.
It's harder for some players than others, isn't it?
Certainly, and on the 80 shot, I mean, it's almost unavoidable unless you're Mervyn
60.
King.
Ball double 15, isn't it?
You see some players going straight for tops these days with 3 in hand, which...
Playing with fire, though, aren't you? Chuck one out the board.
Not sure it's...
80.
Is he almost aiming for the low wire in the double top scenario? But we've just seen a couple of examples in this match, because in the previous leg Taylor did kind of block himself, and in that one Meikle managed to squeeze away past.
Just watch S.Taylor's throw here. He really does put some force into propelling the darts to the board, and there seems like an awful lot of shoulder in his action there. You know, ideally, you just want nothing moving
96.
past the elbow. Should all just come from the elbow. But Taylor, you get the feeling he's about to follow his darts up to the board sometimes. His whole body lurches forward at times, and he really does put some effort into it.
It's not quite
96.
on the Richie Burnett scale, is it?
Well, no. What is?
But visible there. You were asked last week, weren't you, Dan? I was watching.
95.
I can't remember if it was by Rob Malarkey or Paul Nicholson who you thought had the hardest, the most forceful throwing darts, and I think you came up with Stephen Bunting.
Well, he's got to be considered, just because his darts weigh half the weight of everybody else's, and a lighter dart you need more power to propel it to the board.
90.
Can he force a 90 check out? That's in 15. So 25 would leave the balls out. It's not a bad guide, that.
65. Ryan Uruguay 142.
Would he stay there?
He did. He wasn't far off.
94. Sky Uruguay
So,
65.
to make it 3, holds a throw, double 12.
1 score. Ryan
One
Uruguay
scored
48.
the call. Ryan Meikle, chance. Tops. Tens.
Game
Chance
shot on the
taken.
third leg. Ryan Meikle. Fourth leg is Ryan to throw first. Game on.
Well, we saw Ryan Meikle last time on the Euro Tour, September last year, at this event. Wasn't held here, but it was the German Darts Grand Prix. He was a first round loser there. Not been a huge regular on the European Tour. He played the first one of last year and was a first round loser there as well. So you're going way back for the last time that Ryan Meikle did win a game on the Euro Tour. In fact, that was the International Darts Open in Riesa. That was where we saw players pulling out left, right and centre. And Meikle, having beaten Michael Rastovits in the first round, got a bye past Michael van Gerwen to make it through to the final day of action for the first time. But there he was beaten by Jordi Meeuwis, so a man we'll see tonight against David
100.
Well, this looks good.
180.
Very good indeed. Second match for Scott Taylor. The first was the very first throw of this match. Two players here that have won second-tier titles.
80.
Meikle had a development tour win last year. Scott Taylor a winner on the Challenge Tour back in 2016.
26.
Yeah, I seem to recall Scott Taylor winning that title, averaging something like 106, 108 in the final. When he won that, he does have the capabilities to play some
58.
very exciting stuff, but he's in a position, Scott Taylor, where he knows that in his second year of having a tour card, he's got to start picking up some ranking money.
140.
That top 64 to avoid having to go back to Q school.
Yeah, it's a lack of consistency, isn't it? That's just been illustrated in the last three visits. 180, 26, 140. But if he cleans up this 95,
Sawyer 195.
there will be a break of throw. And again, he's landed one just outside the bull.
70.
And again, he's unable to guide it in.
90.
20s to start, that's the usual route. Now the ball.
47. Sawyer 125.
Should be one for double 12 again, you would think.
Yeah, but his last attempt at double 12 wasn't fantastic.
19. Ryan 43.
Not a fantastic result this time around either. Tops for the Barber.
Game shot the fourth leg.
And for the second leg running, he pins double 10.
Scott to throw first.
Consolidates that break of throw. Halfway to victory. A place in the second round to face the Grand Prix champion Daryl Gurney.
$96.
As we expected, both players playing at a similar level. But Scott Taylor will be kicking himself. 9 darts missed at double so far.
$97.
And there you see that kind of check-out success rate is going to put you in problems on the European Tour stage.
I'll put you in problems on any stage.
134.
The last 32 of the UK Open this year, Ryan Meikle beat Dave
92.
Chisnell, Mickey Mansell along the way, losing out to Michael Smith in the end.
$96.
Yeah, he's only 21 years old. He's already got a professional 9-darter to his name. Hit one of those last year, picked up a
60.
silver pin at the PDC Awards for that achievement. But he's one of a huge number of potential talents. He can't all go on and be absolutely brilliant because they're going to have to play each other along the way, but certainly does have potential. It's interesting now the way that
74.
darts has changed the demographic of players over the last, well, even half a decade or so. At what age are you expected to become the man?
Well, we're still not really any closer to understanding when players reach their peak. The only thing we could say is different players peak at different times.
Just look at the two main examples. Phil Taylor retiring in his mid to late 50s, and Michael van Gerwen taking on that mantle in his mid 20s. Of course, he was winning a major title when he was 17.
18s now. Leaves the bullseye, nowhere near it last leg. A lot closer this time. But Taylor, who's had so many problems on his doubles, there's no guarantee this goes, but it does go. Cuts that gap.
Game on.
One dart missed for a 4-1 lead there for Ryan Meikle. Only averaging around about the 80 mark these days. It has not been stellar stuff. We've certainly seen, I mean, if you've been following some of the Pro Tour action this year on the Dart Connect systems, you've seen Ryan Meikle has been chucking in some decent averages here and there. He's had some impressive displays. This hasn't been one of them as yet, and yet he does hold a narrow advantage.
93.
Because we've been sat here for every match, I'm not quite sure what time Ryan Meikle arrived. Would have the same thoughts about Steve West and Darren Webster too, but obviously this game put back. It was supposed to be the first match of the afternoon session. I'm not sure how much preparation and practice pre-match that Ryan Meikle's had, so he may well be a factor in him not producing the kind of averages that you've just alluded to.
Yeah, I mean, just picking up on the 10 games he's played in the Players' Championship Series, for example, he is regularly in that sort of low to mid-90s range of a solid professional display.
96.
And the likes of Merv, Beaton, Dolan.
60. Ryan Uruguay 157.
Well, Nathan Aspinall watching on there alongside Luke Humphries. Aspinall hard done by, averaging over a ton, but beaten by Steve Lennon. And a ton is the target that Ryan Meikle is going to face here.
100.
Is it two tops? There's one of them. And there is the other. Superb shot from Ryan Meikle.
Throw first. Game on.
Keeps him in control of this contest.
Standout moment of quality in this one. Two tops finish for 100 with Taylor sat there waiting to break.
$190.
You see 81 averages.
95.
Nothing particularly exciting. I mean, go to the UK Opens, for example, where Ryan Meikle was averaging 90 over the entire 6 tournaments. Had wins against the likes of Rob Cross, beat him in the last leg decider.
100.
The Webster, Roby John Rodriguez, he beat with a 98.5 average. You know, he's got these big performances in him.
59.
At the minute, it's just little moments in this game that have given him the edge, coupled with the fact that Scott Taylor's having real problems hitting the doubles.
Yeah, and Meikle's on 4 out of 9. That's respectable.
140.
And it's the important part, isn't it? I know that there are some players whose practice routines only involve hitting doubles.
Well, edging closer to this leg. Can Scott-Taylor produce an unlikely? Would have been very unlikely, wouldn't it?
48.
And he's getting visibly more frustrated, Scott-Taylor.
Well, history suggests that with 2 darts, Ryan Meikle is likely to hit.
Shot the 7th leg.
And he only needed 1. And he only needs 1 leg
to
book his place in the second round in a tie against the World Grand Prix champion.
50% on doubles. Top quality finishing from the Barber. Looking to
46.
reverse the scoreline from their meeting just a few days ago when he was beaten 6-2 by Scott-Taylor in Milton Keynes. Double the money riding on this game. That was a first round game for 500 quid. This one to double the money from £1,000 to £2,000. But Scott-Taylor's not done yet. It's his third 180.
The second time he's kicked off a leg with a perfect visit.
42.
And you wonder how much recent meetings play on the mind of professional darts players.
54.
It's a strong response, isn't it? I wonder if it's just added a little bit of extra encouragement for Ryan Meikle to go on and get one back over on a man that's recently beaten him.
Oh, we will see Scott at the Austrian Darts Open. That's in Graz later on next month, about 3 weeks' time. Maybe Ryan Meikle's just benefited from featuring in the first European Tour event. I know he lost in the first round in Leverkusen, but it's been a long while since Scott-Taylor's played on a big stage in front of a crowd like this.
$72.
Yeah, he's been a lot of that, and they're a good dart, a couple of poor ones.
But it's a long way back for Scott-Taylor, and it may well be nowhere back.
125.
If he's going to take the first step, he might have needed to take out a huge check out. That's not going to happen. This is for the match.
Can't be done anymore. But Scott-Taylor looking at 100 check out, and the way things have gone for Scott.
43. Scott, you require 100.
You watch.
Don't really fancy it.
He'll hit 2 double tops.
He only needs 1.
80.
Yep, been the story of his afternoon.
68.
And Ryan Meikle now has a couple of darts. And hitting doubles has been the story of his afternoon. And he hits another one to win this match. Ryan Meikle, after all the trouble getting here, he will be glad that he made it a 6-2 win for the Barber against Scott-Taylor, who had, well, a horror show on doubles really in the end. It's Meikle that moves through to take on Daryl Gurney in the last 32 on Sunday. We'll catch a quick word with Ryan Meikle, then we'll have 2 more matches as Steve West takes on Paul Rowley and Darren Webster, the Demolition Man, faces Jan Double-Decker. Stay tuned for more action from the German Darts Grand Prix.
Super Chin aus Nordirland. So, jetzt sind noch ein paar Flights verteilt worden. Schön, dass auch viele Kinder hier mit dabei sind. Auch das erleben wir immer häufiger. Ryan, congratulations. Happy about that win?
Very happy. I've had an awful trip here. I literally arrived about 2 hours ago. But it seemed like I've had a lot of bad luck on this Euro Tour, but I'm over the moon to win.
That was because of the fire in Stansted Airport?
Yeah. That was awful. That was awful. Yeah.
But you're here, you won. You're going to play Daryl Gurney tomorrow.
Yeah, looking forward to that. Daryl's playing very well, but no pressure on me now, so I can just turn up, enjoy it, and I can't wait.
Cool. See you tomorrow again. Thank you very much. Meikle. Der sagt, er ist so froh, dass er diese erste Runde geschafft hat. Vielleicht habt ihr das mitbekommen.